Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. You're probably watching the replay if you're here at this time. But I'm Mary J, and I'm here with one of my good friends, Kayla K. It rhymes. It's like the coolest thing in the world. But Kayla and I have been in touch. We met on social media, which is the good part about social media. And we've been in touch and decided to come together to do this live stream for you guys. So welcome, Kayla. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. Thanks for thinking about this. This is an awesome way to connect and just share.
Yeah, totally.
Because we have a lot in common with this. We've been in similar situations. We're twins.
We are twins. I always say that. Every time Kayla shares a bit of her story, I'm like, oh my God, twins.
Me too.
So, Kayla, can you tell us a bit about you in a couple sentences? Because I'm sure most people here know about me.
Yeah, and I just wanted to touch really quick because I know the topic is like why social media sucks, but you bring up a valid point because social media is not all bad. And I want to preface that because, you know, it really does. It's set like a really important community for all of us to come to a safe place to be able to uplift and support each other. But on the other hand, there's a lot of dysfunction going around. So that's why we want to talk about that. But yeah, so why I have come to this place of like not being a huge fan of social media is because I used to have like one of those Fitspo accounts, you know, and was doing the fitness modeling and the bikini competing and just over extreme on the dieting and fitness and body image and all of that. So that created a whole host of problems back in like 2013. And so I developed a lot of physical issues as well as mental issues, which led me into my clean eating healing escapade. And then created even more problems. And then that led me into recovery and just like breaking free from those negative mindsets that were limiting me and breaking me down mentally and physically. And then that led me into, through that healing journey, into what I do now and just trying to spread the message like you're doing and, you know, helping others to break free too, because that is not a life to live. It just sucks, you know?
I love your platform, Damn the Diets. It's fantastic. So catchy and so true. But you bring up like something really interesting because like, you know, you and I would talk about the whole fitness thing and how the extremes aren't healthy. And I feel like, you know, most people will agree that like that extreme is not healthy. Even when I was competing, like there were some people that would be like, hey, like, aren't you tired or hungry or whatever? And but then you said that you went on a clean eating escapade to heal your body. And did you say that that was not so great either?
No. So yeah, it's a different form of clean eating escapade too, because apparently, you know, I was doing the clean eating, just a different form. There's so many different variations going on. So you have the fitness clean eating that's like chicken and broccoli, no oil, no spice, like nothing, you know. And then this clean eating was like raw veganism, only raw foods, no oil, no salt, same thing. Yeah. And it's just funny because, you know, we think that we're going into it because we're trying to be healthy and we're trying to heal something. And then it just turns out to be the complete opposite. And we have a lot of problems just being too extreme because it's great to incorporate these foods. Just we need to find a balance, you know?
Yeah, and social media, like especially the raw veganism, I see it on social media with like, it's like so colorful and pretty and it's raw and it's fruit. And you're like, wow, I want to travel the world and eat raw food.
Yes.
But it's not real. I mean, I don't think it's real. Was it real?
Was the
like the photos as great as the behind the scenes?
No, and see, that's the other problem. Like a lot of people, I'm speaking for myself, and I had a lot of other people that I was friends with, and we're doing the same thing. We're struggling. Like behind the scenes, that's all we could talk about is how like horrible we were feeling, our digestion, our energy levels. We're so fatigued. We're having brain fog and like mental issues. But then on the other hand, we were touting this diet as like the most healthy diet, the most clean and optimal diet for human beings. So it's like, it's a facade. So we're, you know, and that's the thing with social media. It's so easy to portray a certain message. And then behind the scenes, we don't see behind the scenes. So it's like, you only see, it's like an iceberg. You only see like 20%.
Oh,
but you don't.
Yeah, like when I'm on social and something like looks pretty, I'll be like, oh, that's a great idea. Why aren't I doing that? And I hate like when that even pops up in my head, like, why aren't I like her?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And
Oh,
that like the cycle.
it is. It's hard. That's the other thing. Is like you can't get away from social media. I mean, you can. It's just it's all around us, though. Media, social media. So, you know, that's why I always say like try to unfollow all of these unhealthy, dogmatic kind of profiles and try to follow some body positive, like normal eating kind of profiles. Just because you go on, then you start comparing and feeling bad about yourself. And even if something's working for you, you start to question yourself, even though you know it's working for you. So just
Yeah, that's so interesting. Like it's like if it's not broken, don't fix it. Right?
yeah, seriously.
So
But we're seeing everyone else do something and then we want their results. So we're like, oh, well, I'm going to change something because I want to be like them. But then we just ruin it because now we throw out our intuition, what's working for us, because we're trying to attain what they're doing. And then we run into problems and we start to ignore it. And then we get so out of touch with our intuition, we don't even know how to get back to that. And we're so confused.
Yeah, and like I just know like from being behind the scenes in the whole like fitness thing, I would okay, there's so many different like let's say some girls are like, I don't Photoshop, right? Or like I don't edit my photos. So I mean that's all great and everything, but I just know like I was one of those girls I've never photoshopped but what I would do is, for example, take pictures in the morning when I'm dehydrated and have no food in me and just went to the bathroom. And then I would angle myself so like my ribs stick out. And then other things, or I'd take it right after cardio where I'm sweating and like a little, like my muscles are a little bit fuller, or different things, different angles to like enhance. So even if people are like, oh, it is real, but like no, because if you're just sitting, that's not what you look like. Or if you're just standing and like by yourself, that's not what you look like.
No. Yeah. And I have seen a couple of posts like where people show, oh, I just took this photo like 5 minutes ago and this is what I really look like. And they're bloated and, you know, the lighting isn't the same, so they don't look as defined. And yeah, it's not the photo, so there may not be Photoshop and the angling. I know I did all of those manipulations too. And it's funny that you say that in the morning because I did that too. All of my photos were in the morning, right when I woke up. No water, no food. And then afterwards, after the photo, I would go eat and drink water and I wouldn't look like I would be bloated again.
Seriously. Yeah, that's one thing. And then another thing, I feel like I kind of feel like a hypocrite because I'm on social like all the time. But I mean, these are just some of the things that I don't like and I try to like avoid and highlight. But I'm still on it because I would say like if it could help at least one person, then it's great. It's all worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's not all bad, and you can create your own environment, and it can be great if you're following right people and surrounding yourself with the right energy, just like in real life. You know, if you're surrounding yourself with negative, degrading people, then you know.
Yeah. And I've learned to like block people like it's my job and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. Don't feel bad, you know.
Yeah, there's some people that I just like don't want in my space, and it could be like for whatever reason. Like there's some people that I just don't want looking at my stuff, and that's it. Like I've stopped like explaining that.
Yeah, you don't have to explain yourself, and you don't have to please them. You're not here for them, you know.
Yeah, because I think when I transitioned, I don't know if this happened to you, but when I transitioned from like fitness to more like health, like people would comment and be like, you got fat, or you're just making an excuse because you got fat, or you're just not as dedicated. And then I had some people on my Facebook like say really mean things, like stuff I won't even repeat.
Yeah.
It's like if people are talking about you and taking the time out of their day, I mean, like you're doing something right, you know? Because like I always say, like, you know, people that make fun of the Kardashians are the ones giving them money, basically, because you're still giving them views, attention, love, likes, you know? Even when people are mean on social, it's like, it's just a reflection of them.
It's a projection of their insecurities.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if they were happy for themselves, with themselves, they wouldn't be, doing that to someone else, trying to bring someone down to their level.
Yeah. And you can only see in other people like what you see in yourself. It's kind of like, think of a new color. You can't because you've never seen it before. Like, we can only think of the colors that we've previously experienced, right? So it's like the same thing with like different insecurities. Like, we can't point out in somebody else unless we know what that is.
That's so true.
So if people commenting on like, you're just not as dedicated, or you just got fat, I'm like, thank you for giving me insight on how miserable your life is and how bad you feel about your body. Namaste.
Yeah. Yeah, that's horrible that that's even going on. That's another thing, is people get behind a computer screen and they can just say all of this stuff. But if it was in real life, I mean, would they still be saying that, being so harsh? I mean, there's a lot of cyberbullying going on too, that is creating a whole another form of dysfunction. And so that's the other thing too, is like people are acting superior with whatever they're doing. So if they're in the fitspo or something, they're acting like their way is the only way. And if you're doing something different, then you're wrong, and so then they'll.
Exactly. So besides like people sucking on social media,
Yeah.
I kind of want to like shift gears into like kind of how it makes me feel inside, like when I'm on it too much. Even though like I've created like a safe space and like, I only post what I want when I want, it's still kind of like, sometimes it just messes with my head. Like, how often do I tell you, that's it, I'm deleting it, I want to start over, It's still kind of like messes with my head, and it makes me even more mad the fact that I think about it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm always like, am I posting right? Like, putting yourself out there takes a lot of courage. It doesn't matter how many followers you have, it doesn't matter what you're saying, but if you're like putting yourself out there, putting out pictures of you, putting out a message, especially a controversial message that may not look like all pretty or like what people want to see or hear.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You shouldn't be posting for the other people. It should be for yourself, or like it's an expression of yourself. You shouldn't be only posting for attention. You're sharing your message.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. So I've learned to like, I have to like always shift, and like I treat Instagram kind of like a diary, if that makes sense. Like, I'll only post if, hi Scott, how are you? I'll only post if it's something that like I need to get out. So basically I'll be like, okay, if a year from now I was scrolling through and I saw this post, would this tell about the time of my life, what I'm going through? Is this something that I like want to remember when I'm scrolling through my own profile, But then if I'm tempted to like post just to post, I always like snap out of it, because that's not what that's for.
Yeah. And I love following your profile for that reason. It's very inspirational.
Thanks. I love yours because it's like a huge like kick in the ass sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you post out stuff that like people like don't want to admit to themselves. But it's all so true and so needed that it really does help me so much to just like stumble upon something of yours that's like, I think you did a post about like disguising dieting as healthy, and like, and these are all things that I used to do and that I'm very susceptible to as well.
Yeah.
So like seeing that is like amazing for me.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, feelings mutual. So.
And then some profiles I like stumble upon, and like, they could be like very positive or super authentic, and you really enjoy them. And then still like the comparison thing kicks in. Mm-hmm. But like, you just have to know that everybody's in a different part of their journey, Like, your chapters all look different, your books all look different, the writings all look different,
Yeah, people compare themselves to someone where they're at in their journey, but like they don't look at the whole journey before that and how long and what they did to put into where they are today. So like the journey before that. And so they want instant gratification, and they're comparing to something that person has worked their ass off for years. And now they are finally reaping the results that they want. And so we live in this instant gratification age too. And so that can create a whole another set of comparisons, you know, and feeling
like talk about instant gratification, like likes,
yes,
comments.
yes.
You know, that's why I think who is it, Simon Sinek, often like he likes to bash millennials for our dire need. Yeah, to like have instant gratification. I mean, I don't think that's exclusive to millennials personally. I think everybody has that need, but we're on social quite a bit. We're like likes, texts, comments, like what is it on Snapchat? It's screenshots or retweets. Attaching that to your worth is just so detrimental.
Yeah, exactly. And so then people start to feel bad if they don't get as many likes or comments. And so much more than a like and a comment or reviews.
I personally have like a personal page where I just post like literally whatever I want. And it's kind of, it's like my out. Like, I don't know what it is, but I love my personal page because I feel like it's just so me. It's so authentic. And I like literally don't care. Like, it's just my friends and family, like personal friends and family. So when I put it out, like, even if I don't get likes or whatever, because I posted a picture of my dog, like it still makes me feel good, just like posting it.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. It's like, you know, just sharing and feeling good. And if you have a powerful message to share and people to influence, it's great.
Yeah.
But you can't like let it get to our heads or abuse it or.
Yeah. I mean, there's different uses. There's if you have a message or personal. I don't really, but it's nice because it's like a online virtual scrapbook. You can look at it like that too, where you're just expressing yourself and people lose out. Like that's what Instagram used to be. Do you remember back when Instagram was not even like, it was only for iPhones and you couldn't even get it on a Droid? It was very artsy and creative and just photos, you know, and then all of a sudden now it's just like, Fitspo and like porn and it's weird.
A lot of porn.
Yeah.
Like, how is that legal? I know they regulate it, but sorry. When I stumble upon it, I'm like, oh my God.
No.
But yeah, I do remember that. I remember when my friend convinced me to get it. She was like, it's cool. You share pictures. And I was like, so simple and so fun. And I just like wanted to go back to that. It's cool. You share pictures. You know, I remember the time when like on Instagram, like if you posted a selfie, you were weird or.
That's true. It was more artsy. Like if you saw something cool in nature or downtown.
Exactly. You know? Yeah, and if you were like Fitspo, you'd post like a photo of your shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoes, you know? But like now it's like people are posting like lots of exposed body parts and all kinds of weird junk. But it's all good. I mean, to each their own. But I just want to remind everyone that like what you see is not real. I mean, not 100% real. It's not the full truth, you know? Even the profiles that are the most authentic, like it's impossible to share your entire life, you know, even the people that do try to do that, it's not possible. So you still don't know. You still don't know what goes on in people's heads. The last thing that I will like want to say and get out of my system is like to the people that are like, oh, but you can make money on Instagram. Like, okay, yeah, but that cash is never going to buy you your dignity back. And then 2, only 6% of billionaires in the world have social media. So just keep that in mind if you have an idea of how financially successful you want to be.
You really don't need it. We're made to think that we need it.
Yeah. I was watching like a video earlier with, do you know Iskra Lawrence?
I don't. No.
She's a model. She's like a British model. She's like super body positive. She has like 10 million followers, I think, or something crazy. But I watched a video she made with her best friend. And her best friend is also a model and she doesn't have social media. Like talked about like what that's like. Because these days, like even if you're dating or you like go out and meet a guy like or whoever, like people are usually like, yeah, like what's your Instagram?
Yeah.
Like people don't even ask for the number anymore, right?
That's true.
I think that's hilarious. Yeah.
That's weird. I always imagine life before without social media because that wasn't too long ago.
No. And remember, do you remember like calling the landline and the parents pick up and like, hi, can I talk to Mary? You know? But now, and I find it like super insulting when people come up and say like, what's your Instagram when I'm standing right in front of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all Facebook, because Facebook's actually a place to connect and then like later on exchange numbers.
Mhm.
And I mean, I guess you can do that via Instagram and the DMs, but like, I don't know, something about like Instagram being all images,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
is like, it's like, oh, I just want to look at you.
Mhm.
Like,
Not
I just look at
present.
pictures of,
Yeah.
exactly. Would
Like
not be present.
social media is so addicting when couples or loved ones or friends are even out and they're spending time together. You see them just on their phones, just on social media. So they're not even being present with a real life human being right in front of them, and instead wanting to look at people's lives via social media. And it's a weird concept.
Oh, do you want to hear something heartbreaking? Like,
Yeah.
that's heartbreaking. And then this is going to take it to a whole nother level. I think I'm losing my voice. But did you know that 22% of men look at their phones during sex?
What? Wait.
And then get this, 60% of couples in general look at their phones within 5 minutes after an orgasm or after finishing sex.
I've never heard that. I haven't even experienced that. Have you experienced that?
Vaguely. No. Maybe. But not from my side.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Isn't that horrible?
Yeah. You're supposed to be in the moment and really, be present with that. I mean, that's a powerful energy exchange.
It is. Yeah, and it's really sad. I think that like during one, it was like shocking, but it's like, all right, typical, like guys are guys, and like there's some like, I don't know. I mean, that people do some stupid stuff, right? But then like the one about after that I'd applied to like all couples,
Yeah.
and that's the same thing. Like I left my phone, went out to dinner last night. I accidentally left my phone, didn't mean to, but I know like I put in the order with my server, and then there was that time between you don't have food, you kind of sit there, right? And that's usually the time like the instinct is to just like, hey, I'm just gonna check my phone before the food gets here, and it's really freeing not having that.
Yeah. You be in the moment. It's interesting to look at me and Chad were just observing. We like to observe and people watch. But you observe the different like generations, and you see the older generation and then the younger generation. The younger are typically on their phones when they're with each other, and then the older generation, they're just like looking around, even if they're in silence with each other, but they're just enjoying their time, and they're okay with the silence, and they're okay with awkwardness, and it's normal. But like now we just always this overstimulated society that we're in because of technology. It's like weird for us to be with ourselves or with that one person and be in silence. It's really weird.
And that just circles back to like that's the reason that we're disconnected from like our bodies, our minds, like we're always looking at what someone else is doing, but then like do we question like what is your body telling you, So yeah, it's true. And then about the awkwardness thing, I always say like it's not awkward unless you think it's awkward.
Yes, that's like one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah.
It's not awkward unless you make it awkward,
Yeah. Like I'm so comfortable. Like yeah, I'm on social quite a bit. But if you told me to like be with my phone for a week without my phone for a week, I'm like great, and I love like just like looking at people, if I'm out with my friends and they're like, oh sorry, I just have to get this, and they'll like go to their phone, right? Yeah. And like usually the other person will go on their phone too, just to like not just sit there, right? But I just like sit there.
Yeah, me too. It's so nice.
I'll just wait for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and just look around at surroundings. Dogs can teach us an interesting and important lesson in life. They're just always in the moment, just like looking around,
Wagging their tail.
Yes. Yeah. And we're just sitting here like on our phones. We're not okay. It's like the normal simple things of life are not stimulating enough. We're like overstimulated. So we're not even sensitive to the simple things in life that really are so powerful and important and necessary for us.
okay, like we're gonna do this honesty hour and make like a super honesty minute real quick. Okay, so do you ever sit on your computer with your phone next to you using it and then the TV over there on?
Okay, so I honestly, I haven't watched TV in so long. I don't have TV. Phone and computer, yes. I always it's sad. I have like this little desk because I work from home a lot. So I have this little desk that goes on my lap for my laptop, and it has a pull-out thing on the side for my phone. And I'm like sitting there on the phone while I'm on the computer. It's horrible.
That's hysterical. Yeah, I like don't watch TV either.
Yeah.
But then if I do, like yesterday I was creating a sales page for like an online course I was watching, and I had Grey's Anatomy just like playing in the background, and I was like, I do not think this is healthy for my creativity.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. And even some music in the background is okay if it's some, calming kind of music. But
Having like everything, like that's called sensory overload. And that's actually been shown in children to be like very detrimental for learning and for growth and development.
yeah, it's
To
true.
be like bombarded with like even things like lights, like obnoxious music, like stoplights and computers and phones and screens. And like I hope everybody listening uses night mode before they go to bed. Like right now my computer's on night mode.
Uh-oh. I didn't know you can do that for the computer.
Are you on a PC or a Mac?
Mac.
Okay, yeah, so Mac.
Slow down.
If you're on a new Mac, they have it already, but then if you're on any other computer, you can like download, just like Google like night mode software, and it's like free. You can just download it to your computer. It's awesome. And you can set the settings so that it like automatically like does the night mode at like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever.
Okay, like how new? I think mine's 2016.
Oh yeah, then it should. Which one is it? The Pro?
Yes.
If it's the Pro, then you know that little button where it shows notifications, like
Yep.
the in the right hand corner. See if there's something there.
Oh yeah.
You find it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Okay, everyone got a crash course.
That can help. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm really I just want to say like one last, I'm just like concerned for the future. I'm wondering where this is going to go and how it's going to progress for the future generations, like the younger kids. Like it's already in such a short amount of time gotten to where it is now. I just wonder how. But if more people are standing up, spreading awareness, trying to create a healthy relationship with social media, it could be okay. But it's just bringing the awareness, being aware with your behaviors and patterns and habits with it, it can be okay.
Yeah, it can be okay. I mean, we're good right now.
Yeah.
So good.
Being aware.
Yeah, exactly. It's up to us because we're gonna like parent the future generation too. So
yeah, just be an open-minded skeptic and just don't, if next time you feel unattractive or lacking or not good enough because of social media, just take a step back, and we need to just remind ourselves, because I'm telling myself this and I'm trying to tell other people, it's a struggle, it's a daily struggle, but just to remind ourselves that it's only a fraction of the story, and often like not everything is real.
yeah, and comparison is the root of all misfortune. Oh, and then airplane mode and night mode are your best friends.
Yeah, I do that too because of the rays and the Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi, and it's like the easiest way to turn off your notifications.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, Kayla, I want to end by having you highlight kind of like some of the stuff you have out there for people to use as resources to help in their health and anti-dieting and freedom journey. What you got?
Okay. Well, I have my book, Damn the Diets. That's on Amazon or on my website. But then I also have my master course. It's like a 7-week long master course, but that's bundled with my ebook too. So, and I just go in depth with just overcoming the body dysmorphia and the over exercising and the dieting to redevelop a healthy relationship with food, body, and exercise. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah, because you're working on your course too.
Yeah, I'm doing somewhat similar. I'm working on my online course, which will be released on Sunday, this Sunday. Yeah, and I'm really excited. It's more of like a mindfulness. It's like tuning back into mindfulness and like trusting your body, trusting yourself. It's called Divine Health. So it's all about accepting yourself as a divine being who knows better than any diet or exercise plan.
Yes. Yes, I love that. I so resonate with that because the most important thing is to be able to get back in touch with your body and find a balance that works for you, not for Susie or for John, for you.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And sometimes what works for me is like 3 bowls of homemade granola. So
yes.
That just happens. But it's all good. Amen.
No shame, no guilt. You know?
Yep, no. You know what we should do? You know how they do like no pain, no gain? No
Yes.
gain. Right? No pain, no gain. I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate that. Or like you can sleep when you're dead. I hate that shit. We should do like no shame. Something, no, I don't know. We'll think of something.
No guilt, no shame. Just
yeah. No guilt. There. There it is.
Let us know.
Okay. Bye, Kayla. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye.